Good afternoon, guys. Happy Friday. Supplemental coffee talk. We are going to talk anonymizer. Full disclosure, I had a video already made for this, and it was much more off the top rope. I sat on it. I made this yesterday, the video that I'm not going to show. Sat on it, had it scheduled for 1 today. Got up in the morning, thought about it, read a little bit more on the forum, had a little bit more of a discussion with the CCs on the CC Discord, and realized that the video I made was more drama llama kind of idea and not really what I do on my channel. So I thought I'd take a little more of a measured approach on this because I am a commenter on the World of Tanks passing scene. This is a little piece of that. And I think it's interesting and at the same time not a great big deal, but it sort of is. All right, so I'll try to articulate that as best I can, at least from my opinion on it. All right. Ground rules as we start with this, because I am going to be a little bit critical about this, and I'm going to be a little bit critical about wanting to be anonymous as we go. But we are going to lay ground rules in that this this is a pixel tank game, and it is an opt-in, opt-out kind of idea, and it's one little feature of our pixel tank game, so it's not the end of the world either way. But it is worth commenting on because I think that it's going to not do a lot of what people think it's going to do for them. And if it does that thing, I don't think it's going to be much. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. On the one hand, I get it. Opt-in, opt-out. People want it. A lot of people want it. Here it comes. So on that hand, I understand. On the other hand, I think there's a discussion to be made about what might be lost or what might be misinterpreted about what this is potentially going to do, with the understanding that at the end of the day, it's not really going to be that big of a deal either way, whether it, and frankly, my opinion is it wouldn't have been a big deal if it never came. It's here, so noted. It's probably not that big a deal coming in. But at the same time, I think there's a couple things we can talk about, because as a commenter on the passing scene, I think it's interesting. My opinion happens to be quite the minority from what I can tell. So I found that to be kind of interesting. And there's other places where that has happened as we've gone through. You guys have noticed that. Seeing that I have, some of Guido's opinions are not the popular opinions. And that's fine, that, whatever. And I don't even have to say it's fine, because it's fine anyway. Guido says it's fine. Therefore, I have allowed it to be fine. Okay, people? Is that enough double speak for you? Have I completely mishmashed, wishy-washed my way into this? I'm going to give you my opinion on it, my feelings on it, and everyone's going to have their own. This is a really personal thing, I think, for everybody, both on why they want to use it or not use it, and what they think it is or isn't going to do for them. And that's what I've found, and why I walked back or didn't even post that other one that was a lot more over the top. I mean, I had a hoot. I had a good time making that video. I enjoyed it. I laughed a lot because it was I'm building it up. It's probably not nearly as good as I thought it was, but it was quite the scoff video. So we're not going to do the scoff thing. We're going to actually just kind of look at the facts, look at what I think is going to happen here, and then just look at how this thing's going to operate, just so you get an idea as I've looked at it. So here we go. I've laid the ground rules. It is a pixel tank game. Nobody's feelings should get hurt here. Either way, whatever I say, don't worry about it. You can always ignore it as well. Okay, anonymizer. So what is the deal? What is the dealio with the anonymizer? I recommend you listen to the video. There's some funny things in there. I'm going to plug another big CC that doesn't need a plug, but Quickie Baby's got a good video out on this as well, and also has some points, some of which I have as well, but some of which I don't. Anyway, he goes through the video. We're not going to do that. We'll just go through the actual text of the article here, which is on the main webpage, so you can check that out. Okay, so anonymizer. Why do we have it? Because a lot of people asked for it. In the video, they're going to talk a lot about streamers, good players, big clans, and I'm talking about the top clans, G, Mahao, all those guys, however you say that. Excuse me. Have asked for this for a long time because they don't want to be focused as a general rule. And they believe that their name, their notoriety, stream sniping, all of those things are things that cause them to get focused, and to include XVM. They get focused because of it. Other players, usually described as bad players, people who are getting stat shamed for whatever reason. Okay, maybe you're not even a bad player. Maybe you're a green player, and a couple super unit comes stat shamed you because you did something wrong in the game. A lot of people believe that this is a good thing for them as well. They can go anonymous in the match, and then they won't be bothered by that. My opinion, we'll get to it in a minute, but my opinion is, yeah, sort of, but probably not nearly as much as you think. And we'll talk about why I believe that in just a moment. So anyway, that's what it is. You click on it. It's here in the settings, and you click Go Anonymous, and in the game, in the match, sorry, let's break this out a little bit because it actually is in the match, not in the game. In the match, you will have a random name assigned to you. So whenever you get a kill or whatever's going on in the game, all the little messages, when you type in and say something, it will come up with that random name. And the random name will be, they say it's going to be as realistic as possible, whatever the heck that means. It's just not going to be a number or a letter string or a digit stream or a letter stream or whatever. It will be some kind of actual name, Bill 97 or whatever. I don't see why it would matter whether it was a number or XYZ, to be quite honest, because it's probably going to be readily apparent when you see it. What I don't know is if your clan tag will go with it. I think not. So that will be interesting because you'll see all these people who are going anonymous. There won't be any clans showing up with them if that's how it's mech'd. So that's how it works. You go into your settings, you set that on the general tab right there, and you've gone anonymous in the match. When you come out of the match and everybody looks at the results, guess what, buddy? You're not anonymous anymore. It's your actual name. So right away, the idea that all of a sudden I'm going to get less toxicity or less messages is already kind of wrong. Because if I see XYZ being a dope in battle and I'm that troll, I type into XYZ, you're a blah, blah, blah. And okay, you're anonymous, but you're still getting that message, the toxicity with which you were angry about. To be fair, what won't happen in theory is that at the very beginning of the game, somebody looks at their little pretty colors XVM and says, you suck because your XVM is blah, blah, blah. You know, all that kind of trolling. I will fully admit that more than likely some of that will decrease. If you're a troll and you love trolling people in World of Tanks, do you really think that just because someone's anonymous is going to slow down their amount of trolling? Won't they just wait until later in the game? Won't they look at it and go, ooh, that's one of those anonymous games. Oh, you're anonymous. You must be a blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't think you get less trolling just because it forces the troll to go use something different, if you know what I mean. Maybe they start doing it at the end of the game in the garage more. I think it's probably easier to catch the people in the garage doing things than to do timestamps in replays and have customer service go through many replays. It's probably easier to screenshot a comment in a private message with a timestamp. It's probably easier for them to find that on the server. That's just my opinion. But I admit that it will make it a little harder, potentially, in some cases, for trolls to do their troll thing. But do you really, really think that a troll is going to let that stop them? It didn't. Taking away friendly fire they didn't let that stop them. They found new ways, didn't they? They found new ways. All right. So my point of that discussion is I don't think, my opinion, that it's going to lessen the trolling. It may change it a little bit. It may be less about your stats at the very beginning of a game because you're running XVM. Break, why are you running XVM? That's another problem. We'll get into everyone's personal responsibility here in just a minute. So I fully admit it might do something. I am telling you, I don't think it's going to do what you think it's going to do. Anyway, so let's look at the write-up right here. If you play World of Tanks regularly, this guy, you guys probably, you might recall some situations when a certain degree of privacy is needed, and most of those examples relate to battles. Let's take a closer look. I always love their turn of phrase because of the whole translation thing. It kind of cracks me up. I mean, it feels a little creepy, doesn't it? I'm going to need a certain degree of privacy right now, so if you could just close the door for a minute and... But I get it. I understand what they're talking about. Sort of. Isn't it kind of weird? A certain degree of privacy. So I have made an avatar. It's Guido1212, and that's my name in World of Tanks. And I go into a battle, and it's Guido1212 up there driving his whatever it is. And all of a sudden, I need some more anonymity, man. I need I need another layer of anonymity on top of that. It's, to me, that's weird. I have to be honest with you. I have put myself out into a PvP situation. I want to play against other humans in a competitive pixel tank game. We can argue whether pubs is actually competitive, but say it's not competitive. I am going to play a PvP pub match against other humans. What degree of privacy more is required? Well, you say, Guido, it's XVM. They're looking at my stats and they're scoffing me. Or I'm such a great, amazing player, they all come after me. They're always after. It's not paranoia if they are after you, Guido. Okay, 100% got it. It does happen. I'm not telling you it doesn't happen. I'm not claiming it doesn't happen. I think it happens a lot less than you think it happens. Okay. Anyway, let's take a closer look. Let's do that. Newcomers, streamers, and skilled players. So that's a fascinating title for that paragraph or that section of the discussion, because that appears to be more or less who it's aimed at, although everyone obviously can opt in. And you don't necessarily have to be a newcomer to be stat shamed for whatever reason. Like I've said, I mean, greens get stat shamed by someone who's super purple, just because people are idiots. You know what I mean? Not the green guy. Come on. We're going to get there about responsibility and who really the problem is. And the company does have to do so. You can't just always say, well, it's up to the personal person and their responsibility, but that is an important part of it. But let's get back to newcomers, streamers, and skill players, which is who this apparently, according to the company, is mostly for. It's for everybody, but it appears to be mostly aimed at these types of players. Many commanders just play for fun. Who doesn't play for fun? Sort of making a mountain out of a molehill, but I thought it was telling because it's a really interesting phrase. Many commanders just play for fun. They don't have a very high win ratio compared to skilled players, and teammates may criticize them for not playing well enough. That's their admission that, all right, sometimes people get stat shamed. But, you're bad, but you play for fun. So, well, I'm pretty good at the low end of pretty good. I play for fun. I actually like not being anonymous. So I am one of the exceptions here. I actually love the competition. Right? Now, is that a reason to not have the anonymizer just because Guido in the minority? I don't know. But I am going to lose a little bit of my enjoyment of this game. Is it a bunch? Is it a crisis? Is it a quit thing? No. It's, ultimately I'll move on. But the fact is that I will actually lose a little enjoyment because of those kinds of things, knowing who's in the match with me. That's just true. All right, on the other hand, an experienced player, right? This is the streamers and skilled players part. Sorry, oh, look, they went to, isn't that fun? Newcomers, streamers, and skilled players. And they went newcomers, skilled players, streamers. Oh, man. Anyway, that's a little thing. On the other hand, an experienced player who knows all the maps and characteristics of different vehicles may become a priority target for adversaries. Their experience may be decisive in battle, so the enemy will try to eliminate them first. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Really? All right. So it happens. You're right. Happens more to some people because they're more famouser. Right? It's happened to me. Not a whole lot. Occasionally. I have been, we'll get to stream sniping in a minute, but I have been stream sniped. I don't even know it's a handful of times. It's enough that I remember the 2 times that it happened. I actually got messages in a couple of cases where people say, "Oh yeah, I was going after you." Sometimes people are watching that are regulars, and we have a laugh. I actually like that. I'm like, "Oh, dude, you're in this game, and go at me." So it happens. I got it. It does. I think it happens a lot less than they think it does, because what is really happening is, in the majority of cases, a good player is being YOLO'd or attacked because they're a good player. Not because people know who they are or their clan tag, which does happen, admittedly, but because they're in an important spot, right? They're aggressive. They're outplaying the game. And they often get YOLO'd for that. Now, here's the kicker for me that I think is, it would be hard to prove. This is my opinion on it. I believe in the long run that people YOLOing you for whatever the reason, one of them being potentially that they know your name because you're not anonymous, that people YOLOing a good player are, over the long run, that's bad for them. They're going to lose. A good player will take advantage of bad plays. That's a bad play. If I'm simply raging forward to get Guido or Quickie Baby or whoever, then in the long run, even though that might be bad for my particular match, that one-off match, in the long run, I am going to take advantage of that more than their YOLO is going to be an advantage for them. So really, my opinion, over the long run, all the YOLOing is helping the good players. It's not forcing, but it is a reason why people make stupid plays. And a good player will leverage a stupid play and follow on, and that will be an advantage for him or his team, his or her team. I honestly and truly believe that. Am I saying that we should not have the anonymizer because it actually makes everyone better? I'm not saying that. I'm just looking at it from a larger altitude, because there's more to it than just, oh, if I'm anonymous, then I won't get YOLO'd and therefore my stats will be better, because that's ridiculous. All right, contributors and streamers have also frequently requested a feature to play with a bit more comfort. I don't know why, especially in the case of a streamer, there's any reason for somebody to play with more comfort, whatever that means, undefined word. Clearly it means being anonymous and not being, in this case, stream sniped, I believe is what they're getting at clearly here. But I'm unsure of why they deserve more comfort if you're going to stream. I guess deserve's not really the word, but I mean, if you're going to put yourself out there, again, my opinion, because I kind of love it. Come at me, man. Let's do it. Have a laugh. I'm gonna have a laugh. You beat me, I have a laugh. You know, I bitch about it sometimes on stream. I do. I have felt stream sniped in a couple times. I actually, kind of go off on them, but it's in fun, right? I'm like, oh, you dirty son of a, you stream sniping, you mother brother. You know what I mean? But ultimately, that's part of the fun to me. I'm like, oh, I love it. Come on, dude, let's do this thing. It's a it's a pixel tank game. I'm not mad, even if I'm emotional and enjoying the moment. It's not mad. It's just, it's like, oh yes, competition. Let's do this. Come on. Anyway, so there you go. The newcomer streamers and skilled players, and really everybody. These are the main people they talk about, but I think there are a lot of people, for whatever reason, who feel like they are persecuted in-game for all the various kinds of reasons. And I will tell you, I've already admitted, I'm probably in the minority with this, to be quite honest. Most people that I've seen are going to use it. I've seen a considerable number of people say they're not going to use it, but really I think the majority so far, at least from what I've seen, are going to use this. And I don't quite understand what they think they're going to get out of it. All right, so let's break just a minute to say one other thing about this. This is kind of intensely personal to each person. What they get out of it, my last question was a bit of a leading or rhetorical question, because really what people are going to get out of it is what they want to, right? If you don't like being targeted that much, then you're going to have the ability to go anonymous. And it's all intensely personal between each one of us and what we think or want out of the game. Got it, man. I got it. But I think that, I hope that most people are coming at it with a kind of measured kind kind of measured expectation, so that when it doesn't really do what I think some people think it's going to do, they don't get bummed out about it. Okay? And probably the majority of us are going to be just fine. We get it. It's not going to save everything. It's not going to fix everything. But I've seen a lot of, oh, I just cannot wait for this. It's going to be so great. No, it might be a little good, but it's not, it really isn't. All right, so there you go. How it works, we talked a bit about that. It's important to note that it works in Assault, Encounter, Grand, Standards, Frontline, PvE, which was weird. Why that would matter, I don't know. Ranked Battles, which is probably one of the better places, really, if you're going to go anonymous, because there are people who get absolutely focused by the arty rage in ranked battles. PvP, I don't know why they threw that in there. I guess that's just a catch-all. It's all really PvP minus maybe the PvE piece. And then where it doesn't work, fascinatingly, is advances, skirmishes, and clan wars. So I'm kind of left going, well, why is my anonymity from being focused so important in these other ones, but not in clan wars and skirmishes? Oh, well, that's because that's competitive gameplay. Oh, because this rest of it isn't. That's a weird delineation to me. It always has been, to be quite honest. The claim that PV, or the claim that randoms, the word will come to me. The claim that randoms is not competitive. It's not competitive. Well, it is. It's not on the level of clan wars and strongholds and the rest of it, but it's still it's a competitive game. I am competing against other humans. It's not the top level of competition noted, but this idea that somehow there's this massive delineation between the two is kind of silly. They're just played different. That's all there is to it. All right. Game generates random username. It's not a random set of characters, but a plausible nickname. I'm sort of looking forward to what the names are. I think I talked about it in a coffee talk a while ago. I hope that my names are Monkey Butt or something. I'm not using it. I'm going to use it just to see how it works, and then I'm going to not ever use it again. So at the end of the day, if you see me in battle, YOLO me. Come on. Let's go. Do it. Shoot your arty at me. Go for it. I don't care. and I'm probably going to beat you, to be quite honest. I'm certainly going to try. Let's put it that way. Let's see. You will see your real nickname while the random username suggested by the anonymizer will be displayed to your teammates. Suggested? All right, that's making a mountain out of a molehill, but that's a dumb word for that. It's not suggested. It just assigns. Assigned by the anonymizer. This was an interesting part, and I'm not 100% certain how this works, but if you do static or dynamic platoons, use caution when choosing your platoon mates because your hidden information may be disclosed in battle. May be disclosed, maybe or will be. I'm not sure what the wording in there means. If they or you use third-party software, which means, I think when you platoon, your real name and your stats, your real name and your stats will be visible to the other platoon mates. That's probably some kind of coding or engine issue that they can't hide it amongst platoons for whatever reason. All right, we're gonna wrap this up, guys. Okay, can we take this game seriously? All right, let's take the game seriously. This is kind of part and parcel to my point on this. My opinion, Guido's opinion, take it or leave it, is that if you're this worried about being focused, or if you're worried enough about being focused or stat shaming that you want to go anonymous, my opinion is you are taking the game too seriously. But I'm the minority, so don't get mad. That's just my silly opinion. Doesn't matter. You can say, Guido, you're taking the game too seriously because you're worried about this anonymizer, which is just a little feature that you can use or not use. Fair play. You're right. But I'm telling you, I'm just giving you my opinion on it. We hope you enjoy this new feature and it makes the game more enjoyable. I'm going to tell you what, so do I. If this makes your game more enjoyable, even if it's just a tiny bit. I don't think it will very much, but I suppose it might a bit. Then good deal. I hope it does. We want to remind you the fair play policy. Using the anonymizer isn't a reason to abuse the rules. I feel like you might get a little bit more, at least initially, chat as people believe they're now anonymous, right? What do you get on the internet with anonymity? Now, yes, you can report them, and that's always been the case. But I'm telling you, because I am a student of human nature and I pay attention to the interwebs, more than likely what we're going to get is at least a small surge, if not a little bit more, of the typing happy hooey and maybe a lot of the clicking, right, going on. I could be wrong. Feature doesn't make you invisible, so the administration, and that's the whole point of this paragraph. They're trying to head that off. Look, here's the deal. It makes you anonymous, but we still know who you are, and people can still report you, and the whole system is still in place to stop that. So I hope that that's true, and we don't have a bigger problem. We hope the anonymizer makes the game more enjoyable and helps you avoid toxicity in different game situations. See you on the battlefield. So do I. Now let me go to what I was talking about at the beginning when I was going to give you my endgame opinion of who's actually responsible for toxicity. Yeah, I think it's twofold. Number one, it's you. And I hate to say this, I truly believe this. If you cannot ignore it and you internalize all of that, then that is your problem. Okay? It is part of your problem. It is also the person sending that negativity's problem. It is also the person sending that negativity's problem. That doesn't mean that we don't have systems in place in the game to try to mitigate it. We've taken away chat. We've done a couple of things. I didn't agree with that either. I personally can ignore it. Doesn't bother me. And if it gets bad enough, people chase me into garage, I can give as good as I get. And I just laugh. It is, to me, hilarious. But that's not everybody. Not everybody can do that. I don't know why. It's something I can't understand, but that doesn't matter. I don't have to understand it. And some people just don't want to deal with it, which I get. But really, to me, it's your responsibility to ignore things that don't matter to you. And being an older person as I am, it's funny. I mean, really, if you're going to send me, you're going to send my avatar, really. And that's what's funny. If you're internalizing that this person in the game is you, then you're gonna have a hard time separating reality from what matters, or fantasy from reality. But if you want to send me something and insult my avatar, oh no, oh my gosh, wow, that's so funny and stupid. Oh, man. All right, so here it comes. It is not the end of the world. It is not the end of the game. It's not going to destroy my enjoyment of the game. I will be a little bit bummed that I won't be able to see as many people and kind of recognize people in game. It's going to make everything a lot more 20,000 feet, I guess. I think for me, again, my opinion, for me, I'm going to lose a little bit of my enjoyment of the game with this. Which is fine. If more people get more enjoyment, then Guido losing some enjoyment doesn't matter. It's sad. It makes me sad. I hope it works out for you guys, man. Your anonymousness. Can I just end it with, I think I already talked about it, but do you really think that you're going to get less of whatever it is that's coming at you? I don't think so. I think some people might get more. I really and truly do. The biggest thing it will stop is the initial XVM ridiculousness off of colors and numbers and stuff like that. That to me, that is really literally the only advantage with the addition of a top 1% of players who are noticed and YOLO'd, streamers and that stuff might get a little more comfort. Whatever the hell that means. Other than that, it's kind of a non-issue. So we will end it with this. I think I already said we'd end it. We're going to end it again. Here we are, November. 1.7's coming up. And the big addition to the game is the anonymizer and getting directives for credits, from what I can tell. Just going to leave it with that. All right, guys, that's all I've got. It's really none of my business. We will see you. Let me know what you think down below. I think more than likely the majority of you are going to support this and love it, and that's cool. I don't like it. I'm not going to be anonymous. Like I said, if you want to come at me, please do. Go crazy. We'll see you.